with Geriatric Mums.
Oh, I've got this like spot on his nose. I've not like squeezed it, but what I have done is like use a syringe to try to extract.
Gin. It's that time of the year that the kids are going to school. We got 2 5-year-olds who started school last year, and this time we're going to talk about starting school, going back to school in general. I guess a lot of this is quite universal, but obviously it's been a crazy fucking year, so Corona special.
Corona special, going back to school. So I would say that the most important thing is to talk with your child about going to school. Do they have any worries? And the worries might not be the kind of worries that you expect. So, and especially if your child is just starting the school, they don't even know what school is supposed to look like.
What was the thing with Noah like when he started school?
I don't think he worried about anything. He was just very excited.
Mia didn't worry, and it was quite difficult when he started, and he did cry like the first 2 mornings when we left him there, and that was really difficult. And to be honest, I don't know what they would do this time, because I don't think they're allowed to touch the children.
No.
Talk about how it's different from reality at the moment, because even if they have been to school, if they're little, they probably have forgotten what it's like.
5 months is a long time when you've got a memory of a gnat. Have some play dates with classmates, that will help. And that's a really good tip for parents as well. Check what time you have to take them in, and and what door, because things
we took him in the wrong time, didn't we, the first day?
oh, first time around. Yeah, well, do check, because it's all changed. Like ours is now 10 to 9 instead of 8:45. Then it's very, very strict.
Yeah, and I think something that it was true on reception, and I think it's probably true, it's going to be true this time, is that it will have an impact on their sleep. And obviously, a lot of us have gotten into a kind of holiday sleep routine, which might have to change. So, start that a bit earlier, so it's not going to be a shock to the system for them to start waking up early. And when last year, when Mia started school, he had some night terrors, he had some nightmares. So, that might happen.
Be prepared that they're going to be really tired as well.
Yeah, they were just exhausted. So, yeah, it's... You think it's easy though, but then they're going to be grumpy as hell.
Ratty, they're not going to be eating well either. And another thing is, ask them, how was your day? Not necessarily when you first go to pick them up, and we all do this. You go and you pick them up. How was your day? What did you have for dinner? I know it's like, I don't want to say. Later on, maybe when you're putting them to bed, say, anything that you want to tell me about your day, what was exciting, anything that's...
Yeah.
And it's a nice part of your evening routine, that you've got the quiet time. You talk about your day. You could talk about your day and say, this is what happened to me, what happened to you. And then be prepared to
Your
listen.
incredibly boring day. So I filled in this Excel sheet.
20 zillion emails.
I think something that is going to be interesting, definitely for kids who are going back, is like the actual learning stuff, because I think homeschooling, it has been wildly different levels of quality. Yeah. And I think the schools know that. Yeah. And even when they went back to school in the summer for a few weeks, but they didn't learn anything. It was just play, and it was just kind of like getting them used to being in school. So I think like a lot of the learning's going to have to start from the scratch, and the kids are probably going to be quite different levels.
I mean, that's actually something that happens even just over summer holidays. So there's the learning loss, especially with, not so much with maths, but to do with reading and writing. Or is it the other way around? Anyway, there is learning loss, but the good thing is that they do catch up.
Mia started doing daddy's school again.
Well, I think daddy's school in your house has been amazing. You're doing all sorts of exciting things. What do? We make cupcakes.
Yeah, they tie-dyed some tops the other day in daddy's school.
Important life skill.
Yeah, important life skill if you live in Brighton.
Well, yes, if you're going to be a hippie. No, with Noah, all we've done is the treasure hunt. So he did spell Toblerone.
No way.
This is kind of besides the point, but we did lunch with Paul's parents, and we had a Toblerone cake, and Noah was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Well, if you read it, you can have some." And he went, "Toblerone," and I was like, "I know, I'm raising a genius. What can I say?" And I think this is quite a nice one. This one I actually read in an article about teaching your child to be a kid ambassador. So basically, sort of saying to them, you know, you might be nervous, you might be feeling a bit worried, but there's always going to be someone who's more worried than you. And especially if there's going to be, you know, this sort of pandemic time, if there's a new kid coming to class, or anyone who's just, you know, feeling a bit alone, and make sure that you always include everyone. Go and ask everyone, how are you?
So one thing we haven't talked about is uniforms. Most schools still do have uniforms, but like, for example, our school will not have them in the autumn. So
that's interesting. Why do you think?
I don't know. Maybe it's because they get mixed up really easily.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. So they don't have and I mean, they didn't have a strict uniform. They only had a uniform in principle anyway, whatever that means. But if you do have a uniform, you know, get onto that labelling crap. Get your iron
Biro. That's what I did.
Don't start, you know, sewing things in. Get just one of those things that you can iron in, and label everything. I guess it's even more important in a time of COVID than it ever was before.
Yeah. I've got one that's really bad. Oh, and I blame my mum for this. Like, Noah's got this like spot on his nose.
It's not a real spot.
It's not. I mean, it's something he's had all his life.
Yeah.
So it's probably a mole. Even worse. But it's got like this little black dot on it, and I'm convinced that it's like something that I should squeeze.
Oh, like a blackhead.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm sort of like, if you let me have a look at it, I'll buy you a toy if it comes out. But I've not like squeezed it. But what I have done is like used a syringe to try to extract. That's really bad. I've stopped now, but there was a couple of days when I was just like itching to, because it just looks.
Hey, Dr. Pimple Popper.
I love that.
Leave it to professionals.
How about you? Top that.
Oh, not gonna top that. I just knocked over some wine on his carpet. It's thinking bedtime, and you know, had a glass of wine, and it's just like, I was like, oh, you know, the carpets in the bedrooms. Now it's just gonna smell of wine. What can you do?
Used to it anyway.
Anyway, let us know how starting school or returning to school goes with you guys, and if we've forgotten any top tips. Cheers.
Cheers.